Today we're going to be taking a look at every team need for the AFC with free agency hitting on March 15th. And of course, the tampering period starts a couple of days before that on March 13th. I'm pretty sure I got the dates right. Let me know in the comment section below. But we still got a ways away from there, so we're going to take a look at each of these teams' needs. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. I don't know why I did that way, but I did. Let's go ahead. We're going to start with the AFC East. Looking at the Buffalo Bills, we're going to look at their offense first and foremost. Looking here is obviously you got Roger Saffold, Mitch Morris. The play's been so you kind of like, honestly, their whole interior. For me, the offensive line really let Josh Allen down near the end of the season. So I think big priority for them, if they can make it work cap space wise, is try to get in some new guys, some reliable vets on the interior of that offensive line. Even Spencer Brown just hasn't developed the way that they had hoped, but he was a third round pick. You could maybe look to replace him as well, but I mean, I don't think they're going to have enough cash to like shelve out for like a Caleb McGarry, which honestly I think he gets hit with the franchise tag. Then you look at, Devin Singletary. I think Nyheim Hines is a plausible cap casualty as well. So it's like, oh no, running back. Good thing it's a really good running back class in the draft. You can get one third, fourth, fifth round. So I'm not really making that a priority. You look at the playmakers, right? And honestly, I'm not too worried about the playmakers. Like, they really like Isaiah McKenzie. Khalil Shakir kind of came into his own. Maybe just grabbing some depth pieces there. It's kind of fine. Obviously, you expected more from Gabe Davis this season. That didn't really happen. But I mean, if you're looking for speed, there's some speedy guys in the draft at the wide receiver position. But offensively, like the things I am looking at, honestly, mainly it's that offensive line. But we go to the defense and take a gander there. And obviously they got their biggest free agent, probably, in my opinion, is Jordan Poyer, Tremaine Edmonds. I think we all expected them to move on from Poyer and then Micah Hyde next season. Though, obviously, the whole DeMar Hamilton situation kind of complicated things. And, I mean, they have a reliable guy in Siren Neal, but he's more of a special teamer, good depth. So maybe looking at the safety position of the draft, I think that may be something like that. And offensive interior, I think you really want to look at the beginning of the draft, with maybe focusing somewhere in that third to fifth round, maybe looking at maybe a running back, linebacker. There's actually a lot of quality linebackers out on free agency this season. We'll see if they all actually hit free agency. With Tremaine Edmonds gone, like, he's gonna get paid big. I don't know if you're the Bills, you really want to pay that. Maybe you try to go and find a cheaper alternative. Actually, we could go ahead and take a gander at the linebacker free agent market real quick. Free agent market, NFL please. There we go. So we can take a look at the linebacker market real quick. Bobby Wagner's out there, but he's gonna get a pretty penny. I just assume he is going to. So we're gonna take a look at linebacker. Let's see what's the update for old Broshmo here. If this thing wants to update for old Broshmo here. Okay, well, this is the part where we refresh the page. Oh, this whole thing just froze on me. Thank you, Spot Track. I think regardless, looking at the corner position, like, obviously you had, like, White was there. I think he spent like 6 weeks on IR. Took him quite a bit to get back into the lineup. You saw some promising things from Kyer Elam, Dane Jackson. But, like, honestly, if they want to go the route of a corner somewhere in there, I don't mind. Cornerback's such a volatile position. Bringing in cornerback, I think depth is a is a great way to go. Finally, linebackers loaded up. Zach Cunningham could be a thought. He could be maybe a little inexpensive. Devin Bush. Levante David is going to be rain chasing, so maybe he takes a discount. You have other guys like Deion Jones. Aziz Al-Shair from San Fran, but he's probably going to be looking for a bigger contract. Let's see here. Denzel Perriman's always just a good reliable vet there. In all honesty, though, like looking for someone to fit. I actually like Al-Shair. But again, I really think he's going to get paid some cash. Like, straight up. All right, straight up. Kevin Pierre-Louis, I've always thought, whenever called upon, he's been good. They could throw him up in there. Alex Anzalone. I don't think they have to shell out significant money for the position. Even shoot, maybe if they really want a good athlete out there, Anthony Barr. So I'm not too worried about that. But I look at safety. Dude, even the defensive line is just phenomenal. I'm not too worried about that. So it's like I really look at safety and interior, offensive line in general. Let's just go ahead. I feel like I spent a good minute on that on the Bills. We're gonna go to the Miami Dolphins, and we're gonna take a look here at what they got going on. As I could tell you, as a Dolphins fan, offensive line, please. Offensive line, please. Because look here, like Armstead's great, but much like most of his career, he missed some games this past year. It'll be nice to get Austin Jackson back, because he wasn't like, he had the injury very early on, but like you're kind of wanting and looking for an upgrade. Liam Eichenberg was terrible in year 2, but Robert Jones showed some promising things. So it's like I'm kind of looking for that tackle. Unfortunately, the Dolphins are going to be picking in the second round. They don't have a first round pick this year because they are sneaky and really bad at it. Maybe getting some more really good after the catch threats at receiver. Cedric Wilson didn't really materialize like some people thought. We didn't see much of Eric Ezukama. Sherfield is a free agent. This is actually a really good tight end class, so maybe tight end at some point. No, they got Hunter Long, but he's really not done a lot of nothing. Mike Gesicki, I don't see them bringing him back. Running back is going to be kind of huge, but we kind of know Mike McDaniel. Like, we know what he has done with less. Like, I mean, look at last year's guys. Raheem Mostert was kind of, Jeff Wilson were guys that were added for minimal fees, you know? So I'm not too worried about that. Like, Mike McDaniel over the course of his career has brought in journeymen or day 3 guys that executed very nicely. So I feel like they can do the same. So I'm not too worried about them investing in the running back position. I really, really am not. I have a lot of confidence in Mike McDaniel in that regard. I'm thinking tackle. I'm thinking maybe another playmaker or two, whether that's a tight end or at wide receiver. Then going to the defensive end. I mean, fortunately, they're going to be bringing back a lot of guys. I'm kind of curious to see what cap casualties they may or may not have. I'm just going to go down a little bit. As we're really, linebacker, man, Shannon Tyndall, your time to step up. But look at here. Wow, they got a lot of free agents actually on defense. Like, Byron Jones could end up being maybe a cap casualty, maybe even I don't know if they can restructure his deal some way, somehow. But Kader Kohu obviously was a beautiful in the slot, which is a shame because Nick Needham, who is a free agent, so it's kind of irrelevant, has been pretty good for us when called upon. I don't want to say linebacker. I really don't. I really don't want to say linebacker. Could be something we target in the second round. I mean, that tackle position is really important to me. Grabbing more guys at corner. Noah Igbinogheni's kind of been a big letdown for us. Never really emerged for us in any real capacity. So I think I'm feeling a little bit more good on the defensive end. So probably gonna go corner then linebacker, but my top priority is gonna be the offensive line, tackle, corner. I have faith in Mike McDaniel to find playmakers at good value. So you could put playmakers, tight end / receiver, then kind of linebackers at the bottom. I know it's like we got what? We got Jerome Baker, we got Channing Tindall, but we could bring in some budget guys. It's fine. I wouldn't even be surprised if Roberts is back on a nice budget cost for the Dolphins. It'll be nice to see what they do. Let's keep this sucker rolling with the New England Patriots. I'm kind of curious if we're going to see those guys cut anybody here. We're in the build-up before free agency, because wide receiver is kind of a biggie. Kind of is. So like you look at this, right? And like honestly, they could cut Devontae Parker, frees up $6 million. Kendrick Bourne, he frees up $5 million. You kind of hope Tyquan Thornton kind of steps in, maybe in that Algalore role. Like Bourne probably, well, he's better as a sub package guy in the slot. So like, if they are gonna cut some. Man, maybe you don't even cut Parker or Bourne, but I still think it's something up for the draft that they might want to consider. Isaiah Wynn is a free agent, so that tackle spot's going to be wide open. Who's going to step up there? I really don't see anyone on the roster right now. Yeah, so I think that might be a spot there. So I would say receiver, tackle. It's kind of about even. Let's take a gander at the defense. As obviously the big free agents we see are like Devin McCourty, who may retire. Seven just hit a free agency, and then Jonathan Jones. Let me scroll back up here. I fully believe Miles Bryant should be replaced in the slot. He took a majority of the slot reps this year. Why not put Marcus Jones there? I expect... Wait, where do they have... There's Jack Jones. So Jack Jones will step up here on the outside. So outside corner, I think is probably the way to go for the Patriots right now. They could realistically maybe bring back Jabril, but he doesn't really fill the void there of Devin McCourty. They don't really have a guy on the roster that really does. Like Adrian Phillips is real nice. He sees a ton of snaps as well, but he's real nice. And honestly, Jelani Tavai wasn't half bad for him this year. Yeah. I feel like corner, safety. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I feel like tackle and receiver will be at the forefront over a corner / safety. So it's kind of my read on the Patriots. And what does that mean? Like, and what they do in the first round, they could honestly, like, they're gonna see one of those positions fall right to them, whether it's like maybe a Paris Johnson or a Peter Skoronski, Broderick Jones, or maybe it'll be one of the receivers. A lot of people, we're not seeing receivers come off the board typically until pick 12 maybe. So like they're sitting there at 14, could be a viable option for them to take a receiver. but it could also be for a corner. Like typically, like we got the top three and Christian Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon, and Joey Porter. And it's not a sure thing that Detroit or the Eagles elect to take a corner, so they could be staring down like a Christian Gonzalez, a Devon Witherspoon, a Joey Porter. So really, like, the draft could come to them at that point, so that's kind of nice. So that's what I would say the needs are for the New England Patriots. Let's go to the Jets, and I'm going to make this quick. Quarterback. Even more so that all-star Mike White is a free agent. Because all they right now got on the roster is Zach Wilson. Sounds like they're really trying to I guess doll up Derek Carr to come to town, be the quarterback there. So I think there's a good likelihood of that. I think a priority should be bring back Connor McGovern. Because like then what you have Mekhi Becton hopefully maybe gets back into the starting lineup there. Dwayne Brown is coming back for another year, but how much longer does he really have? You have Max Mitchell. How much hope do they have in him? He was all right during some stretches. So, well, you look at that and you're like, bring back Connor McGovern. That helps a ton. Grabbing a tackle allows you to keep Elijah Vera Tucker there at right guard. And then really you have this four-way battle for the tackle position with Mekhi Becton. Like if you draft one of the first round, I really like drafting one for the Jets. I think the value is just right there. But obviously quarterback needs to be the first thing they figure out, and hopefully they actually figure that out prior to the draft, because currently they're probably not in a spot to take one of the top 3 to 4 quarterbacks. Going to the defensive end, they're actually going to be missing some guys there on the interior, which is, I mean, man, this team loves the defensive line. They love the trenches. But to be fair, John Franklin Myers is a guy that can kick inside there and help out. Maybe they bring back like a Nathan Shepard, perhaps. But they got on the outside like Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens showed some good, was good in spots. Bryce Huff is a really good pass, like DPR, designated pass rush only option. I really expect Carl Lawson to potentially be a cut candidate. Will one of the linebackers here that they took a couple of years ago and Hamsaw Nazarildeen, Jamin Sherman, both converted like from safety. Are one of those guys going to be able to step up for Quincy Carter? We also, you look at the safety position here, as LaMarcus Joyner was a guy that constantly either played slot or played deep for them, and they don't really have a guy that really does that well on the roster. Hey, Tony Adams out of Illinois, baby. I actually really liked Tony Adams. But that's why I kind of like the idea of maybe like a Brian Branch here as well. But man, yeah, actually the interior, that defensive line needs a little bit more girth. Not even girth, just needs more names there. Because also they're going to have to find a way to pay Quentin Williams. So that'll be interesting. All in all, obviously quarterback's the first thing they need to take care of. I would throw tackle and defensive line depth. If they can find a versatile body there, like that could play both in and out, that's okay. So D-line the trenches. Let's go with the trenches. So quarterback, the trenches. Then I would throw safety up in that predicament as well. Then again, like linebacker, you got these two guys you've been developing. It's time to see what you got in those guys. So finally, we're almost freaking 20 minutes in this video, and we're just moving on from the AFC East. Oh, geez Louise. Let's see if we can run through some of these a little bit more quicker. Obviously, Lamar Jackson. The Ravens got to figure out a way to bring back Lamar Jackson. The offense looked atrocious without him, and I'm fairly confident Lamar will be back with the Ravens next year, so I'm not too worried about that. Receiver. Get this man some freaking weapons. Get him some weapons. They got Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely showed well. I think Charlie Collier is a really good tight end 3. Running back, again, you could dress that in on day 3. I'm not too worried about that sucker. They're looking good along the offensive line. Ben Powers is a free agent, but maybe Ben freaking Cleveland could step up, man. I had high hopes for Ben Cleveland. Looked like Braun Strowman coming out of Georgia. So maybe he could step up, fill in that left guard role. But it's really playmakers. Like getting just some more firepower there. They brought in guys like Sammy Watkins. They brought in Deshaun Jackson. So like I don't know. It feels like the first round would be a nice place to start that. But let's go ahead, take a gander at the defensive end. As we know, outside corner. It's kind of a thing. So I think the idea of grabbing an outside corner with Marcus Peters being a free agent is kind of keen. You kind of ask yourself, is this the time for David Ojabo to step up with JPP and Justin Houston as free agents? They bring back a lot of these guys on the interior, so I'm not too worried about it. I wonder if Jalen Armour Davis maybe steps up. I don't know. I think you still address it. Again, corner is such a volatile position. So I'm going receiver, corner, and then probably that left guard spot. Because I just think you could take running back day 3 and they'll be fine. You get JK back. So I think it's A-okay. All right, let's roll over to the Cincinnati Bengals. Offensive line. I could already say that from the get-go. All right. So let's look at them offensively. As the receivers looking nice. They're going to have to figure out what to do with T. Higgins. I expect that they will probably extend him in some way, some fashion. Some people bring up tight end. I believe that's correct as well. I think Joe Mixon could be a good cap casualty. I know a lot of people like him, but I think he's a bit overpaid. But I can say that about a lot of the running backs in the NFL. So you could say running back, but again, that's position. Though they haven't really hit well on in the later rounds. But I mean, especially if the plan, let's say even Joe Mixon still remains on the roster. Like, okay, Chris Evans is back up at that point. So you probably want to bring another guy in. But it's really this right here, man. The offensive line. Deontay Smith, don't know how he's progressed or developed. Akeem Adeniji, move that guy to guard. He's good depth. Honestly, like Jackson Carman, I'm kind of excited to see more of Jackson Carman. I want to see more of him. So like Jonah Williams, man, kick him. He could play either side. Go ahead, cut Lale Collins. I know some people. He was hurt. He's been hurt for the last few years. But even if you're saying, it was just the nagging injury that why his play wasn't that good, it's like, yeah, sorry. Bye bye. We gotta make room because we gotta pay some of these guys soon. So yeah, I would probably even with Carmen Jackson, Jonah Williams, I'm still in the market for a tackle, maybe even a guard. They're obviously they struggled when Alex Cappa was down as they put in Sharpen. He's like Cordell Volson, I know, was a rookie, and you'd be like, he played all right he played as a rookie, as good as you'd expect for a day 3 rookie, but I'd still be looking to probably improve the position. Sorry, the offensive line was that bad and that atrocious. So we're basically talking here offensive line, tight end, and then running back. Looking at the Bengals defense, linebacker will be something they need to consider, I think, with a big free agent there in Jermaine Pace. They don't have a guy behind him that can step up and take that mantle. And to be fair, like, the dude made a lot of improvements this year. Like, he was much more solid than he had been in years past. He really started to emerge there next to Logan Wilson. If we're looking at the, like, because you see, like, okay, oh no, all these starters in the secondary. But it's like Cam Taylor-Britt's fine. He stepped up and did well. But, hey, always go for more depth at corner. That's A-okay. Daxton Hill is expected to step up and take this role. Von Bell's the real question. Is Tyson Anderson's actually interesting choice there out of Toledo. He was a very versatile defensive back for the Rockets. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But also, like, they could find a quality box guy. I don't know exactly what Von Bell will be asking for. So if we're looking at the defense, I kind of feel, yeah, you could go with corner, you could go with the box safety, but you can find good box safeties on, like, somewhere in the 3rd to 5th. There's gonna be a ton of options there for you, and you can even bring in a guy in free agency. So, like, I'm feeling corner, I'm feeling linebacker, but I still feel like that pales in comparison to the offense. Like, offensive line is a need. Grab a tight end. It's a quality tight end draft. Maybe start trying to invest another receiver to eventually take over for Tyler Boyd. Like Trenton Irwin, I just don't think's that guy. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the Bengals. Let's keep this sucker rolling with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns ain't going to be playing with much money here this offseason, but I think obviously the biggest thing here is going to be Ethan Posick being a free agent. I have a lot of faith in how they develop their running backs, and I was actually pretty high on Jerome Ford, so I don't mind him stepping up. If they want to address that, you can do it later in the draft. Grabbing more weapons at wide receiver. You have Cooper, you have Donovan Peoples-Jones, but David Bell was mad. You could probably find a better athlete than that, but I mean, I would take a swing somewhere at receiver, I think, in this draft. Looking along the defensive line, like, okay, Nick Harris steps up, but he's kind of in a contract year this year too. But yeah, no, the first thing that screams out to me is maybe taking a shot on another receiver. We go to the defense, and it's that defensive line. Let's be straight up. Let's be honest. Like, linebacker is going to be a big need. Like, Anthony Walker, probably they're like, okay, they got JOK. What am I saying? But Anthony Walker was kind of their most consistent guy. They brought in Deion Jones, kind of hoping he could do that for him. It wasn't really the case. I feel really good about the secondary, actually. You got Newsome, you got Martin Emerson. Like, Grant Delpit was kind of but again, you're looking at a box safety, split high guy. You could find that guy somewhere round 3, round 4, round 5. It's that defensive line was atrocious. Outside of Myles Garrett, like, this team ain't stopping nobody. They need a big space eater up in there. Like, I love Perrion Winfrey, but he's not that guy. So getting a big space eater, even Tommy Togiai, he was really kind of a stout pass rusher type that plays with a really good motor. Looking for that next edge next to Myles Garrett, like, is Alex Wright that guy? We didn't see much of him this year. Isaiah Thomas? Who's that? The former Oklahoma cat, right? So, like, I don't know. I kind of lean finding a space eater, edge. So, space eater, edge, wide receiver, linebacker, center. Let's go with that. So, and they just don't have a lot of money to work with right now. So let's keep this sucker rolling with, I think this would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at that. Covered that in 10 minutes opposed to the 20 minutes it took for the AFC East. I say that we haven't even got through the Pittsburgh Steelers yet. All right, let's keep the sucker rolling then. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, I think they're looking pretty darn good here. I mean, maybe you can make a case for a receiver offensively. The tackle position, you're kind of hoping they'll upgrade that with one of their first 2 picks. I was never really a big fan of Dan Moore. I thought he was overdrafted. Corafor was this year. So I do think they take a shot at tackle with one of those first 2 picks. This is a team that's typically pretty good at hitting on receivers on day 2, so I expect them to probably do that again. So maybe they look for like a Nathaniel Dell. It's kind of sexy. I feel like honestly Mason Gold was kind of good this year. But James Daniels is a guy that's capable of playing center as well. Kendrick Green's just kind of fallen all completely out of favor. Kevin Dotson, you're kind of hoping rebounds. So you can make a case offensive line in general. But looking at the defense, and man, this is a team that feels like well, first off, they don't really have a nose tackle. Like Montravius Adams, I can see him getting cut. They really don't have that nose right now. Larry Ogunjobi's a free agent, so it's like maybe again looking for that space eater once again. Looking at a linebacker because Devin Bush. Look, he wasn't even. Don't even have him listed as a starter. It's like who are you gonna line up like here? So linebackers definitely on the table. I think adding more corners. They need it. Their best corner, Cameron Sutton, is a free agent. Oh wow, they had Carl Brooks. I didn't know that. The more you know. So like corner is a huge need. Like you got Levi Wallace, you got Kello Witherspoon, who are like very mid cornerback 2s in the NFL. So definitely corner. So you got tackle, corner. Those are kind of the top 2. Next, I think you're kind of looking at space eater. Might as well throw that up there with let's say linebacker. Because linebacker, you're gonna be in that like once you get to that mid day 2 range, you're gonna maybe want to take a shot there potentially. This is a good wide receiver class, man. You could probably get a guy late day 2, early day 3. So yeah, it's kind of what I'm feeling right now for the Steelers. Trey Norman did step up, and we saw a ton of him. He's all right. He's mid. All right, let's keep this sucker rolling with the Houston Texans. This is a team with a lot of needs. So quarterback first and foremost, but I think most of us fully expect them to invest that with pick 2 in the draft. So I'm not thinking about that right now. Extend Laramie Tunsil. Give him what he wants. He was great. Titus Howard was solid this year. Hopefully you're expecting a much better year for Kenyon Green. But center is a big need. Like Britt, honestly, I'd cut Britt. And like if AJ Cann's like the worst player on your offensive line, I feel like you're in good shape. That just means Kenyon Green steps up and you find a solid center there. I'm surprised they don't have Morrissey there playing center. Because I'm surprised they don't have him listed at center because I'm pretty sure that's where he played at Pittsburgh. But receiver, like Brandon Cooks wants out of there, so you're probably going to be looking back in the market for that because really the only two competent receivers you probably have are Nico Collins and you're hoping John Mechie when he returned from leukemia. So you're also looking at tight end. Like you got Brevin Jordan there. I kind of want to give him a shot, but kind of want to hedge your bets and probably bring in another guy as well. So, I mean, this is just a team with a lot of needs. If you're looking offense, it's quarterback, that's pick 2. I'm not worried about that. It's wide receiver, center. So, offense, those are the two. Let's go to the defense where they obviously need all kinds of help. But they have, like, a lot of encouraging signs. Like, bring back Ogabanya. Yeah, I butchered names. I'm sorry. But bring him back, man. When they started him kind of down in the second half of second half of the season, he actually did exceptionally well. Bring him back. You got Greenard. Wow, Jerry Hughes is a free agent? Oh, shoot, bring him back. He was your sack leader. Not that saying much, but like, yeah, they need guys. They need more help. Thomas Booker, I'm hoping to see a bit more of next year. Maybe, yeah, just probably bringing in more guys there along the defensive line. Obviously, linebacker feels like needs a whole shift, though. Like, I really liked Jake Hansen. I thought he showed well at some parts, so, like, just throw him here. They have Christian Harrison as well. Kirksey could be a cap casualty. I'm A-okay with that. So, defensive line, not that I'm thrilled with their state at linebacker, but it's not a primary objective here. Jabari Thomas is actually a pretty solid slot, but they bring back Desmond Keene, who's really good at that role. Jalen Pitre was like all over the place. I expect Eric Murray to be a cap casualty, so you're probably looking for maybe a more box guy. Even Jalen Pitre can be that guy too. So it's like you're really just looking for another safety then, because I don't want to kick Desmond Keene back to safety. I think he's at his best when he's in the slot. Maybe grabbing more cornerback depth I think is nice, because Steven Nelson, let's be honest, he's just really a bridge option until you can find that next guy, and they don't have a ton of depth at corner. They really don't. So defensive line, corner, and then like linebacker, box safety. I put that kind of together. So all together with this team, it's, I'm gonna be honest, defensive line, which I think they're gonna be very active this free agency. I think we're gonna see them go after guys that former D'Amico Ryan guys, Arden Key. We got Samson Ibukam. I want to say there was an interior guy I was thinking of, but not one comes to mind right now. Oh, golly. Yeah, not one comes to mind. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I really expect them to maybe make a splash on like a Tremaine Edmonds or a David Long. I kind of do. So, like, in general, like maybe the defensive interior, which we're probably seeing that day 2 then. Which opens up corner, which, yeah, probably day 2s, which means that I think with that second pick, I think receiver does make the most sense. It really does. With a weak free agent class at receiver kind of makes the most sense. Though it wouldn't surprise me if they went edge. So that's my thoughts on the Texans. Let's keep this rolling to the Indianapolis Colts, as this is another team we expect to have a new franchise quarterback. So we're not gonna really talk about, oh, this team needs a quarterback, because I expect them to address that They need some speed at receiver. Alec Pierce is nice. He's a big speed option, but I'm looking for that guy that can really like stretch all three levels of the field. If I'm going to be honest, Jackson Smith and Jigba would be freaking fantastic. Let's replace one Ohio State receiver for another. And I said speed, but I mean, he's just such a clean route runner. So maybe you could do this day too if they still have second round pick that doesn't get lost up in a trade up potentially. So like they could go after like honestly anywhere in day two. Like day two's filled with really good receiving options. So like I look at that, it's like, you know what? Okay, we could roll, like, we know quarterbacks are number one pick. Maybe at the back, like on the third round, we go receiver. What about this offensive line? And I'll tell you, I'm feeling good about Bernard Ryman going into year two. Quinn Nelson, I expect to be better. Ryan Kelly's fine. Again, if he's like the worst part of your offensive line, you're in really good shape. Unfortunately, Will Fries, I don't know how to say it, is not. Danny Pittner, real good swing tackle. That's about it. So, like, right guard is an issue. So, guard's a spot maybe they want to address. Maybe they want to go. Honestly, grabbing kind of Deion Jackson's pretty solid. So, yeah, they're fine at running back. So, I'm thinking, I'm looking for a wide receiver that could really just destroy all three levels of the field, create separation. I'm looking for a right guard. That's what I'm looking for in the offense. Honestly, receiving help in general. And then going to the defense, it's still Gus Bradley, ain't it? Freaking, I'm just not the biggest fan of Gus Bradley, guys. I'm sorry. So, maybe more edge help. I feel like Yannick Ngakoue would really want to come back because he's actually performed pretty well under Gus Bradley. But they do have Dayo Odeyingbo. I suck with names. I apologize for nothing. So grabbing another edge, I think could be pretty solid. They really like you got DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart have been really good over the course of their career. Are they a part of the future of this squad? Because like Grover's contract, I constantly look at. I looked at it last year. I was like, man, he's a really good player, but I could see him getting cut just because of the price. And I said the same thing this year. You look at linebackers. You got Shaquille Leonard, Bobby Okereke. That's how I remember pronouncing it. I know it's pronounced differently now. So my apologies. I don't see them bringing him back. I think he's actually going to get paid decently. Free agency. So maybe some more Zaire Franklin. I think you kind of stay the course with the secondary. Keep Stephon Gilmore. Isaiah Rodgers should have been starting out there that whole time. Brandon Faison. I don't know why they gave him so many starts. I'll tell you why. Because Gus Bradley liked him. And then you got Julian Blackmon. You got Nick Cross who could step in. I think in that kind of in more of a split high role. He's really good. Rodney Thomas was really solid as well. Keep in mind, Julian Blackmon had to come in for Kenny Moore, play a lot more in the slot because of the injury. So it's like the secondary is actually looking, I think, really good. Flowers wasn't great, but he was a rookie. It kind of is what it is. So yeah, of course you could add. I think you could add day 3 at corner. Linebacker, defensive line in general. So I think it just goes back to the offense is kind of a bigger need. I'm probably looking for that guard. I'm probably looking for that wide receiver before I'm looking for an edge and a linebacker or a defensive line and a linebacker. And this class is rich when it comes to the defensive line. So those guys I probably look in day 3. So that would kind of be my plan. Again, this is all before free agency, so things will change as they address positions. Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's take a look first offensively. Keep in mind they don't have Calvin really up here yet. Are they putting him with the reserves? Yeah, there's Calvin Ridley. Okay. And the rest of these guys are futures contracts, so. But there's Calvin Ridley, so we basically know he's up here. So Calvin Ridley's looking to probably move into that Marvin Jones role. I mean, you could probably grab another receiver, but it wouldn't be tops on my priority list. Ben Barch, Tyler Shantley, the combination wasn't great this year, so I think that left guard spots up for grabs. Brandon Sheriff, I think, is just not the man he once was, but he's still solid enough. You look at Jawan Taylor, and you think maybe you could move Walker Little over there. You could have Cam Robinson move over there. I think in general, I'm looking for like a Peter Skoronski be really good for this team. I think he's not going to be there available at their pick. Peter Skoronski be freaking nice. Tight end. Luke Farrell's the only tight end they have on the roster. I mean, obviously, let's take a look at some of the future deals here. They got Garrett Prince, former UAB guy. Oh, you can't see it. There we go. I believe that is it. Yeah. Oh, man, I really liked Kevin Austin. He had a mean combine. Then he went undrafted. So, like, I feel like they're probably going to try to bring in a tight end free agency-wise. So I'm not even thinking about that. So maybe wide receiver depth, but you could probably look at that on day 2, day 3. I really feel like offensive line kind of would be the place to go. Like, even if you bring in, like, a Darnell Wright, a guy who could start early on as guard, and then move to tackle if you don't want to bring back Cam Robinson, and then suddenly you got Darnell Wright and Walker Little as your guys moving forward. I think that's solid. So let's go ahead and take a look at the defense. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I mean, look at all these guys come back. We know this is Darius Williams. Like, they're in need of a slot player. Darius Williams played fantastic on the outside. Oh, you can't see him here. Let's move down just a smidge. There we go. Darius Williams, it's kind of rough go in the slot to start out, but he moved after Shaquille Griffin got hurt / benched. Darius Williams was phenomenal on the outside. So you're looking for a slot guy, which is nice because you could keep Rashawn Jenkins. I know that a lot of people like Rashawn Jenkins. He plays a lot of snaps. Yay, he's solid. He's solid enough, but he's definitely a guy you could upgrade from. So, like, you look at that and you, like, a Brian Branch, a Antonio Johnson are fantastic value. So suddenly I shift from that offensive line, kind of knowing it's kind of a pipe dream to expect Peter Skoronski or Darnell Wright maybe to even be there. So maybe you focus on, okay, well, we can look at one of those top 2 safety options who could play slot early for us. And then maybe with our next pick, we could get lucky with an offensive lineman, Matthew Bergeron, who could play guard early and then kick out to tackle. You look at other spots, like, let's see. Maybe you grab another. Oh, I liked Jordan. They got Jordan Smith way over here in another column, but I liked Jordan Smith coming out of UAB. UAB low key produced some solid guys of recent note. So maybe another edge, but this is a deep edge class. Maybe that's somewhere you can go in like round 3, round 4. You have a bunch of guys like Fatakasi, Roy Robertson Harris. You invested free agent money in, so maybe a bigger boy. Maybe that could be a focus like early day 3. So that's kind of my plan for them. Get a tight end free agency some way, somehow. Draft Brian Branch / Antonio Johnson. See if you can get Matthew Bergeron in round 2. And then from there, start looking edge, defensive line, receiver actually could be a good option. Okay, that's the plan. There we go. All right, on to the Tennessee Titans. Whoa, we're taking our sweet time. So this is gonna be like a hour-long video. You're welcome, guys. I still gotta record one more of these. Oh, excuse me. All right, it's nasty. All right. So, man, dude, this one might take a minute for the Titans. So, receiver. Let's start at receiver. You have Treylon Burks. You saw some promise in Kyle Phillips before he had IR pretty quick, didn't he? Like Nick Westbrook it's fine. Outside of like you need to find a stud. So receiver, the left part of your offensive line is dog water. I mean, you would hope that Dylan Radins would move in over Aaron Brewer, who was kind of dog water. That's not the case. First and foremost, Nate Davis was the best player on your offensive line. You bring him back. That should be a no-brainer. Derrick Henry is the engine to your offense. Bring back Nate Davis. Drafting a left tackle makes too much sense for the Titans in the first round. That's where you're going. I don't care Broderick Jones. I don't care Paris Johnson. I don't care Pierce Skronsky. That's what you're doing. So then what's the move from here? It's receiver. You actually got quite a bit of free agents here at tight end too. Oh, Gojo, you want to Gojo, I haven't even got to your Chiefs yet, bud. All right, so now tight end is up there. So they have a second rounder, they have a third rounder. Second rounder, you might be able to snag like Darnell Washington. You might be able to snag like Musgrave, Dalton Kincaid. If those guys end up falling, or you can maybe like wait until day 3 and say, all right, I'll let you out, buddy. You're free, Gojo. Go be happy. Oh, Akila, you're mocking him. My other dog, Akila, likes to sit on the other side of the door, and it works Gojo up. It works him into a frenzy. Dude, she's such a troll, and I love it. All right, so like, there's a good tight end class on day 3. Let's be honest, there's bigger needs here. All right, so what else are we doing? You kind of like, maybe left guard might even be a situation. Let's jump to the defense but wide receiver obviously is kind of the big need. Tackle, I'm expecting to be addressed in the first round. All right, let's move to the defensive end, see where we're at here with these guys. All right, so Elijah Molden, solid nickel corner. Roger McCreary had some ups, had some downs, but he was pretty good. You got Christian Fulton, who just needs to stay healthy. Caleb Farley just needs to stay healthy. So going with cornerback depth isn't a bad option, but you could maybe get by doing that on day 3. You have a linebacker, but you have a lot of guys that could step up there, or do you? You don't really, actually. Well, butter my biscuits. So we might find something here where maybe round 2, round 3 you could address that. I know they really want to bring back David Long though, so that might be the thing. It's gonna be nice that they get back a healthy Landry. Honestly, Rashad Weaver could step up for Bud Dupree. Grabbing another edge player is actually not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, now looking at this, it's like, man, I feel like, this roster does need some things. So, cornerback depth, linebacker probably be ahead of cornerback depth because you got guys, you just got to hope they stay healthy. Let's see. Edge help. So that kind of goes along with cornerback depth. So tackle round 1, Tight end. Let's say David Long comes back. Is that a pipe dream? I don't think so. Wide receiver. Wide receiver's got to be a pick somewhere on day 2. It really does. So some way, somehow, wide receiver, and then one of the other picks there, you're either doing maybe a left guard if the value's there, maybe a tight end. Because like Chigakonkwo, let's be honest, man, like this dude's at his best, and I don't mean like he's like, don't mean like he's capped out at, but like when utilized properly, like he's a good tight end 2, downhill blocker, maybe even coming out of the backfield. Like he's really good at that. He's just a really good athlete in general. So honestly, grabbing another tight end, it's not the worst thing in the world. But do you do that day 2? I think you could. So we might as well. I would throw edge depth. Edge. So, okay. So along with the day 2, I would be looking edge, tight end, guard. So kind of juncture there. We'll see what they do free agency wise. Jeez Louise, man. Yeah, we're going over an hour. Hopefully y'all enjoy the content. Now, finally, the AFC West. So, all right, we got the Denver Broncos. This shouldn't be too hard. They got a good amount. They kind of already know what they're doing for the most part. All right, the problem is Javonte Williams won't be back probably till, let's say, November. If it's similar to because I think it was similar to the J.K. Dobbins injury. Dalton Risner, they're probably going to let hit free agency. Graham Glasgow easily fills in there. Don't trade Garrett Bowles. Just don't. They're pretty good at wide receiver. Run back. If you want to grab more guys, just grab them day 3. So yeah, I guess we're talking right tackle. They do have some problems here on defense. With Demontre Jones really has emerged as a really good pass rushing threat. But I guess they're kind of hoping Ioma Ozariki. I swear, man, I nailed his name last year, but it's been a while since I said it. Expecting him to step up is kind of fine. So maybe you're looking for big boys on the defensive end. I mean, what, don't they have like back-to-back second rounders? Or maybe they're like early third rounders? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Or Jonas Griffin. It's fine. I mean, let's be fair. Alex Singleton was kind of a late, like a budget deal. You could find another one of those guys. The edge game's good there. It's really defensive line. Maybe a safety to replace Kareem Jackson. We saw good things from Damari Mathis, but if they do bring back Ronald Darby next year, then I mean you're still looking good at corner. So D-line, box safety. So it's really right tackle. Right tackle will be one. D-line. So the trenches, and then maybe a linebacker, box safety. Well, I always like Darius Phillips, man. Darius Phillips is like a really good depth guy to have on your squad. He really is. He was good there for the Bengals when called upon and they needed him. And I just feel like he's a good guy to have on the roster. All right, so that's basically it for the Broncos. Like they have a lot of good players. They just need to quit underachieving. All right, what do we have here next? All right, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's talk first and foremost. Tackle. All right, so looking at the guys here, obviously you look at Juju, Cole Hardman, Justin Watson, free agent. But you know what? Guys like Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, they're going to step up into those roles. You have a healthy Justin Ross. They got Cornell Powell. He hasn't been able to stick to the roster. Always the practice squad guy. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I didn't know they had Danny Shelton too. That's funny. Hey, Ty Fry Fogel. What up, my dude? What up? Oh, they had John Ross too. That's funny. So I get the whole, it makes, this is a team that wants to pass the ball and do it effectively. So I get wanting to, bring in another guy. All these people that are projecting, let's get a Travis Kelce replacement. Jody Fortson and Noah Gray, I'll be forward. Those guys ain't it. They're very good tight end twos. They ain't Travis Kelce, but I don't feel the need to rush that right now. You look at this, it's like tackle. Tackle's obviously the prime thing here. Lucas Niane, we saw one play in the Super Bowl because I think Wiley had to sit out because you can't go from being eligible to ineligible. So on play, so we saw Niane once. So tackle is huge. Prince Tanga, Wanagoho ain't that. It's gonna be interesting what Darian Kennard, because you could kick him to right tackle. I think he projects better as guard, but let's be honest, he's never gonna see time at guard. He is never gonna see that time at guard. Not with Trey Smith and Joe Tooney on the squad. So we're looking at tackle in general. And honestly, grabbing another wide receiver is not the worst thing in the world. It's actually kind of good. Let's look at this defense. They need a space eater. They could use cut freaking Frank Clark, please. They could use another edge rusher. So edge is up top there. So edge tackle receivers kind of that would be super fun, but it's not necessary. Getting a space eater, you got Noddy, free agent. Saunders never really emerged as that guy. He was someone they were kind of nurturing, developing for that. Juan Thornhill, but basically Brian Cook's gonna step up in that role. That's what they brought him along for. They got a bunch of young guys here at corner, but honestly, they should be good in year 2, so they're going to let Thornhill walk, which sucks. I really like Juan Thornhill. I'm a big fan. He made a lot of plays in the Super Bowl, too. But Brian Cook is going to step up in that role, I imagine. So, edge, space eater, really defensive line in general. Let's just say defensive line. So, defensive line. So, it's defensive line, it's tackle, and then wide receiver. Yeah. All right. On to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not Chris Berman. I'm sorry. I'm a much lesser man. Man, I wish I had the Chris Berman voice. Whoop! See, can't do it. All right. Let's take a look at the Raiders. Quarterback. Quarterback's it's quarterback. Do they address it in the draft or do they do it in free agency? Because, I'm here thinking that there's a shot that they will be happy going into the year with, a Jimmy G, Jacoby Brissett, which it's kind of not okay. Those are more bridge quarterback options. Grabbing, obviously, more receiving help. They got Renfro, they got Adams. I know Holland Mack made some plays, but you can do better than that. So receiver, quarterback. I imagine Josh Jacobs is back with the squad. He wants to be back. They want him back. Let's see if they kind of settle on something. So I'm not worried about running back. Offensive line in general. Oh, they got my boy Nathan Moody. don't know if he'll ever emerge for the squad, but I think Mumford could probably kick inside the guard and be pretty good there. The question is, do they just stick? I feel like you stick with Andre James, but Dylan Parham can move there. Which means you need tackle, you need offensive line, you need tackle, you need guard. So offensive line kind of feels like the front, wide receiver, quarterback, offensive line, wide receiver, and that's before even get into the defense. Golly, as you would love if they could get a big spacey eater. Then again, who's DC? It's Patrick Graham. Yeah, no, having a nice space here would be good. I mean, they got Neil Farrell, but he feels more like a passing down option. Matthew Butler's more of a passing down option. Kuntz didn't really emerge. Chandler Jones had his games. So, dude, this defense needs help. Holy crap, dude. Man, I feel black-pilled by the black hole right now. Like, what are you doing at linebacker? Like, unless you bring back Denzel Perryman, you got really only Divine Diablo. Who's your outside guy? Nate Hobbs? Oh, gosh. Hey, Polu Mayo. I liked him, but again, UDFA. Like, who's playing? Oh my gosh, Dude, this defense is a disaster. Okay, show me the Raiders cap. Raiders cap. And I still got the Chargers go through here. Oh man. Okay, y'all have a lot of money. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's actually really good. That is really good. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing? Like, Deron Harmon's not a bad player to bring back. Rock Ya-Sin, you can bring him back. He was solid. I mean, if you still want to kick Nate Hobbs outside, you can. Like, Meek Robertson's fine, but you need more corner depth. You need a linebacker or two. Oh, man. I'm just glad y'all got cap space. Golly, dude. Outside of quarterback, I wouldn't know what I'm doing with this roster. Like, what would my next picks look like? And does it even matter? Golly. Almost 50 million in cap space. That's great. Y'all can add some really good options here. I'm gonna blow your load on a yeah, I don't think I'd blow the load on a tackle quite yet. And to be fair, a receiver, maybe you could find a nice budget option. Like, how fun it would be to bring like Mecole Hardman up in here, speedster Darius Slay, or just even bring, on top of bringing back maybe Matt Collins, see what he wants. I can't imagine he's that expensive. So, need for the Raiders, quite a bit, but hit that free agency. And you're gonna be feeling much better about it going into the draft. All right, last but not least, we're an hour into this. Over an hour. Wow. Golly, I can only wait for the NFC. I'm glad I didn't make this one video. This would be wild. All right. San Diego Chargers. Now, I'm pretty confident y'all are under the cap or over the cap. I'm pretty sure it's like 14 million over the cap is what I want to say. Don't quote me. 20 million. Oh, shucks. So you're going to have to restructure a couple of things. You could probably restructure okay, you can restructure Khalil Mack. That'll probably free up Brown 10 million. Oh man. Oh man. If I'm honest, well, no, you probably have to keep Keenan Allen. Can you restructure him? That'll save up around 8 million. All right, so we're already close by restructuring those two deals because I might as well. Here, let me show my work. All right, so what if I do this? You kind of get a better. Oh no. Control Z. All right, here. All right. So restructuring those two deals gets us close. Oh, I want to keep Michael Davis. Son of a gun. All right, let's look. Matt Filer. We already know you're a cap casualty. So we're working at working with 5 million. But to be fair, like keeping some of these guys is kind of more crucial. All right. Okay, let's just say those are the moves we do. You think Mike Williams would be down to restructure? I don't know. Let's just stick with that. 5 million. You're gonna be limited. You're gonna be handicapped going into free agency. So you're gonna probably want to do some work in the draft. I would love to get a speedster. It's great. Jalen Guyton's gonna be back, but you could probably get out more high end speedster, just separator in general. I like the Trey Pipkins is free agent. Thank goodness. I'm not re-signing him. I know some of y'all Chargers fans are like, oh my god. Oh, here, let me go back to here. I know some of y'all Chargers fans really think he is a darn good, solid right tackle, golly gee. No. All right, Jamari Sawyer, though, I really like I think he projects better at guard. So I like putting him at left guard because he was left tackle at Georgia. So having him still play left side, that's pretty nice. You got Corey Lindsey, you got Zion, you got a healthy Rashawn Slater. So right tackle, receiver, specifically a separator. You can make a case for tight end, but these guys are fine enough. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the backup for us, or at least the heir apparent Austin Eckler's on this squad. I don't really have, and it wasn't big Josh Kelly guy, Isaiah Spiller. I just don't think has that it factor. But again, that's something you can look later in the draft. So right tackle, separator, wide receiver. We go to this defense that really was a bit underwhelming. Bryce Callahan, free agent, so we're looking at the slot perhaps. J.C. Jackson, you could probably move Santi Samuel Jr. into the slot. Nazir Adderley's a free agent. JT was probably the guy they want to ideally replace him. The dude flies all over the field. He's got incredible length, so that's fine. Linebacker, you've never really been good in a good position at linebacker. Actually, let's take a quick look at, I'm curious, Nick Niemann. I don't really remember much of him. I thought he was going to step up and kind of emerge for the Chargers at linebacker. I want to know his snap totals this year. I wonder if he got hurt. He played 2 games. and 8 snaps. I wonder if he got hurt. I don't know this off the top of my head. So yeah, linebacker is kind of a big thing. Getting a nice like space eater for the run game, that's a thing. Some linebacker, space eater. More depth at corner doesn't hurt, but you can do that later in the draft. So what are we talking here? We're talking, I'll probably put right tackle, receiver. Those are kind of the guys you're eyeing in the first round. Then it just depends what the value is, which probably I feel like the value is going to be at receiver. So then the next, so then you're probably looking space eater, right tackle, space eater, linebacker. Man. Yeah, no, it feels like receiver is probably the best option in the first round. Unless, like, some guys fall. Shoot, bring in Darnell Wright. Because I really like Wright on the right side. I like the idea keeping players on the set, like, not having them switch sides on the offensive line. Not to say they can't do it by any means, but it's like, that's just more of a preference to me. So that's why I look at, like, you look at Anton Harrison, Darnell Wright, and why I would probably weight Darnell Wright a bit over. You'd probably be looking then. Maybe can you find that guy at wide? I think you can find that guy at wide receiver in round 2. And maybe linebacker, space eater, somewhere on the next few rounds. Okay, but holy crap, that's it for the video. This video's hecka long, but hopefully you enjoyed it. We went through every AFC team, and now I'll begin to record the NFC. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.